Today we're heading out and we're going to shoot a 300 round. This will be the second 300 round that I'll be recording this season. Indoor League is starting next week, so that's why I'm heading out and going to record myself shooting this 300 round. Getting a baseline before starting indoor for the season for the next few months. Main thing today is making sure my bow is still on, and then practicing and recording a full Vegas round. Goes 3 weeks of Vegas round, 3 weeks of 2D animal round, and then we go 3 weeks of 5 spot. So basically it is 9 weeks long. I think there is an extra catch-up week in between each one of those, so it's like 11 or 12 weeks plus 2 weeks of warm-up beforehand, which I haven't been able to make it to that yet. All right, 20 yards, second recorded 300 round end in this season. I moved my sight and forgot exactly which yardage I had it on for 20 yards. I'm gonna do one practice end, maybe two. I'll fudge it a little bit. If the first end is good, I'll just start scoring. And if the second end is terrible, we'll give it one more practice. We'll just see how it's going. This is, don't have to get too official with this. That felt super solid. Felt like it went a tad low. So I'm going to give it 1 yard. That one was a little low too. Looks like a little low left. We're going to shoot one more though. See where that hits, and I might give it a couple clicks to the right, but I don't want to move it down anymore after those first two. That one was me. Felt like it drifted to the left as it hit. Good thing it was a practice end. I'm definitely giving it a few clicks. Even with that last arrow, which was me, still feel like they all hit pretty far to the left. So I'm gonna give it 5 clicks. See where that's at. Elevation wasn't terrible on that last one. Actually, elevation was good on that last one. Last arrow. I think I piped it. That felt solid. I think I set up my shoulders where I want it. It was drifting around a lot though. Felt like another solid shot. We're just gonna start off scoring on this one. I think we're sighted in. I feel like I'm a little shaky today. Can't do anything about that though. So I'm just gonna focus on my form and all my technique things that I have been working on. One thing is bringing my sight, get it lined up, and not bringing it away and then line it up again. Just one straight up, line it up and go. And I'm bringing it pretty much straight back to my face. And that has been nice, just like real quick shot sequence. Yep, that one dropped. Not good. Well, first end started out good. First 2 arrows were X's. Can't ask for anything more than that. And then, man, it just dropped that last one. I don't know if that was me or my arm just dropping. Since I have messed around with my stabilizers, I have not really dealt with that happening too much. N2, let's clean it up. Get some 10s here, all 10s. X10 9, not going to complain about that. It's January, of course, so it is a little cold. Decent amount of snow here, North Idaho. For some reason, I wore my shoes. There's more snow out here than at my house. So I've been messing around a lot with stabilizer setups. If you guys saw my last video, I went through my bow hunting rig and talked about all the things I tweaked for the Bowhunter Class. And this is mainly for indoor, but most of the tweaks I made are going to be for the whole season for indoor and 3D. One of the big changes I made now is my stabilizer setups. So 10-inch out back, same 15-inch out front. I'm going to drop this down to here, I think. And then I really messed around with the weights and balanced it out. And man, that has helped a ton as far as like my pin float and my confidence in having that dialed in. That has honestly been a big thing. And I'm always working on my form. So I'm really trying to clean up having the exact same draw process back, working on where I'm anchoring, how I'm bringing it to my nose, and just cleaning that up a little bit, trying to be a little more exact on every single shot and bringing that shot sequence time down. It feels like my shot sequence is taking the shot is taking longer to break today so far than usual. So not sure why that is. Maybe that's just me, just one of those days. But that is what it is. Good practice for shooting league or tournaments when I'm holding myself accountable and shooting a score, especially on camera. So that is a big reason why I like doing this. And 3, let's keep this train rolling. Heck yeah. I love those clean shots. It just feels like a solid break. Just floating right around the middle. No input from me, it felt like anyway. Whoa. It was sounded, I was lined up, but that went off unexpectedly. Like right when I started putting pressure on. I didn't like that drawback. My mind was thinking about other stuff. Thinking about pink unicorns and Zelda Master Sword. Two letdowns just to have a subpar shot anyways. At least it looks like. I don't like that I have that hole on the left side. I know I hear target archers talking about like that you want good holes because it just feels like you gravitate towards them on the paper. Not saying that has anything to do with how I shot there, but I can see how that could mess with you a little bit. Yeah. So far I've dropped 4 points in 3 ends, so not ideal, but not out of my ability. Can't be mad at that for where I'm at. I mean, that 8, I can be kind of mad at that, but that's still doing much better than I was last year. But I'm expecting more of myself than that 8, that's for sure. And honestly, I'm expecting more of, I don't want to drop a point even every single end. And the third arrow is tough for me right now. I have not gotten a 10 yet. Every single one of them has been hitting to the left and bottom. I'm going to give this another click down. Seems like they're going a little bit out of the bottom more often than not today. Here comes that X on number 3. One thing I should do is start timing my rounds. Not that we don't do that at our league. We're not that serious. But just so I know how much time I have and pace myself a little bit. So my arm's not getting as tired through each end. I hope I grazed the 10 on that last one. And bore down. The third arrow has been tough. Not making an excuse, but that target is not very steady on that platform. It keeps moving back and shifting. And I notice it's turned a little bit, so I think it's giving it a little bit of an angle by the time I get to that third arrow. That's just an excuse, though. might be a tad low. Possibly out of the 10 ring. Oh, man. Yeah, pin jumped on that. It broke at the exact wrong time. I don't think it wasn't me anticipating or yanking, I don't think. It was just like I could just feel a little, I don't know if it's because of the cold. I mean, it's like 30 degrees right now. Oh well. It is what it is. And that one was just a little high right when it went off. So some of the tweaks I made for indoor after the hunting season to my bow hunting rig, I talked about this on that other video, is I dropped my draw weight down to 62 pounds. I've done that for the last couple seasons. That's a big thing that I like to do. Man, it makes shooting a lot of arrows competitively or just for target much better. And this time, I haven't done this before, but I decreased my let off. So it's down to 80% versus 85. And that as well, I think, has been a big thing. I can feel like a little more steadier with that less let off. And then I've been messing around a little bit with my draw length. I dropped it a little bit and it's feeling a little better. And then also my anchor point. I try not to worry too much about my anchor point and more so just how I'm lining up my peep and my housing. But I think it's really good to have a consistent spot that you're going to. But it's important to know that it might be slightly different at 20 yards than at 80. I thought that was going to be a lot worse. I thought I was going to drop 3 or 4 points, but I only dropped 2 on that one with getting that 8. But I snuck into that 10, floating all over the place. So I just need to execute through my shot process, and it is what it is as far as my float goes. Shoot a controlled shot for these next 5 ends. So 5 more to go. Let's knock these out. All right, drop 3 points on that one. Not great. Yeah, I probably should have wore an extra layer. Good practice though. When I'm in a heated shop shooting, it's going to feel amazing compared to shooting out in 33 degrees. This stabilizer sure is loud. Really rattles after the shot. And I've noticed that this bow vibrates a ton after I put this longer back stabilizer on. I don't know what that is or why, but maybe that's just a normal thing. The longer stabilizers you put on, the more you're going to feel that vibration. The last one was all over the place, just broke in the right spot. All right, I think that was in 6 or 5. All right, that was actually in 7. So we got 3 more to go. That was the first 30 end that I've had so far, so I feel good about that, especially after the terrible end before that, dropping 2 points. So didn't drop a point for once. Heck yeah. And got an X on the arrow number 3. All right, let's freaking do this. And the one tweak I didn't make for indoor season was I didn't adjust my arrows at all. I'm just using my hunting arrows. So these are not doing me any liberties as far as helping me cut lines or anything. These are 5mm arrows, not ideal for indoor. Yeah, that one moved a lot. Right as it was breaking. I think I caught the 10 still. Should do some jumping jacks, but that'd be the opposite. I'd get my heart rate up and I'd be shaking for another reason. about to let down too. Drop 2 on that one. That one did not feel like it went low when it broke. It felt like a solid break. Just not having some good breaks right now. I don't know how much is my float and how much of it is me. Last end. End 10 right here. Let's finish strong. No excuses. It's going to be the best end of the whole round right here. At least just go for consistent shot process, and whatever happens, happens. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think the arrow's pointing out a little bit to the left. So that felt like a solid break. So I'm going to mention one thing that I was doing differently than I've been focusing on doing until the last end is leaning my head a little bit into my peep. I've been setting my shoulders back so it's coming straight back, and all I'm doing is turning my head and it's right on the string where I want it to be. And that has been a huge technique thing. I think I talked about it. Like, I started working on that last year, and I've really been trying to dial that in early this season now, focusing on that. Most of the time, I don't think I was doing that through this whole round. So at least I caught myself for the last couple ends. So last arrow, let's send it. Okay, that felt weird. Like I was hyperextending my back there. Yeah, I'm letting down a lot. I've never let down this much. Just trying to solidify the shot process. You know, when I'm shooting by myself, I'd rather do it right. If I'm in a tournament or a league, I'm probably not going to let down. Still let down when it matters, but not as much. Whew. My pin was floating on that one. Okay, that's 10 ends. Let's grab our arrows. I'm going to total it up, and we're going to see where I ended at for the day for the second round of Vegas 300 of the season. See how I did. I don't think I did as good as the first, but not a terrible day for shooting in the cold. Now, right on my toe, we are at a 185 8x. So 185 8x. So I dropped 15 points. 285, not 185. Like, my ultimate goal would be to break 295. I'd love to hit 300, but first I'm going to break 290. Then I'm going to break 295 and go from there. That's only 4 points less than what I did a week ago. I hit 289, which I think was a PR. I'm not sure if I did better than that last season in indoor, but I'm gonna, over the next couple weeks and in league, I'm gonna try to beat that 290 mark and go from there. 300 round done. It was one of those days where I was a little shaky, not feeling super on point, but it was good to get the arrows in. Good to get another round on camera. So right now, obviously, I'm prepping for the 3 weeks of 300 round and then 5 spot. And I'm trying to increase my arrow count per day, per week right now. So when I get to that 5 spot, that's not feeling like a ton of arrows, because 5 arrows for 12 ends is a lot more than 3 arrows for 10 ends. And if you're not used to that, your body starts getting fatigued and your arm is giving out. So I dealt with that a little bit last year. If you guys want to see how I adjusted my hunting rig setup to give me an edge and just be most fun to shoot for Indoor Bowhunter Class League. Go check that video out. I talk about everything I changed, and I hope you guys enjoyed this day of shooting and scoring this round, and we'll see you guys on the next.